thought that as a citizen of the net, I would exercise my right to free expression. Might even have to put myself over here. I can hear some birds singing. Tweet, tweet, tweet. Down the street went Christopher Robin. Tweet, tweet, tweet. I remember that poem from when I was 6. And I just remember that beat. Tweet, tweet, tweet. Reminded me of Sammy Davis Jr., who was on television at the time. But no, today's video is about the electric car. I'm watching a film called Who Killed the Electric Car, which is really rather interesting. It's about the bill in California and General Motors and these cars that were built and sold and used to the satisfaction of the consumers, and then were all recalled and apparently destroyed. And it's very, very strange. But we're talking about the car industry in America. And this is this is an hour and a half show, and I'm at 1 hour and I still haven't heard about Tesla. So I'm imagining that this film was actually made quite a while ago. So there's really not much more that I need to see, because I've seen what the big car companies do. You know, when they're told, apparently in California they were told they have to make this many electric cars. So therefore GM managed to make a very, very good electric car for the time. Had a, average battery. We're talking about the early 90s. You could get maybe, 30 miles between charges? We're talking like maybe 15 years ago now. And this is for commuters, people who have to drive to and from work, maybe 30 miles, maybe 60 miles, say. It was satisfactory for the people that wanted them. And a lot of people wanted them, a lot of people ordered them, a lot of people finally got to use them for a very, very little while, then they had to give them back. So in fact the car company wasn't selling them at all, they were leasing them. But I don't understand about, corporate law and shit like that. I just want to talk about the electric car as it is today, and we have the Tesla, which I've seen the latest family sedan. It is not an attractive car by any means. I don't know why it has to look the way it is, but let's skip that for a moment. The Roadster also, I think it was designed. It was built on a Lotus. Designed from a Lotus, copied from a Lotus, but a Tesla motor. Really, really, really extraordinarily efficient electric motor in a very light frame. Tesla CEO Elon Musk was discussing why the Tesla is so great. He says simply it's a light frame with a good motor, and we progressively try to get the batteries lighter and lighter, but to offset the weight of the battery, we use a light frame. And you think, well, that's a no-brainer. And you think, well, the thing about Tesla Motors is that it's not a big car company. So they don't have to follow, traditions set down or protocols or, business models. Elon Musk is one of these guys, inventor, CEO, visionary, philosopher kind of guys, that just says, well, look, what do I think would work best? And he comes up with something and he says, hey, this is an idea. And he says to someone, what do you think of this idea? And they say, Elon Musk, that is a great idea. You go for it. And having all those millions of bucks, in hand after the sale of PayPal certainly helped, but this guy has guts. He certainly has biceps. He always does his presentations wearing a polo shirt. And I think, good on you, Elon. Obviously his charisma and his looks must have contributed to his success. There's no way they could have hindered it. This guy oozes charisma, he oozes confidence. He is a risk taker. So far all his risks have paid off. He designs solar panels in America. He builds electric cars in America. He has built a fully reusable rocket launching system, which is being employed by NASA because they haven't got anything of their own. So there's three things. Solar City, I don't know about that. I don't understand why it's taken so long for solar energy to be, competitive, but Elon Musk has already done it. He just did it. He said, well, let's just do it, and he did it. The Tesla cars, well, the Roadster, it looks okay. If someone lent me one for a test drive, I would take it for a test drive. There's no doubt about it. I don't think I would want the sedan. But I guess here's the thing about the sedan, it's actually just as good performance as the Roadster, because it came after the Roadster and they've developed the engines even further, and the batteries, etc, etc, etc. I don't like the look of it. I wouldn't drive a car like that. I bought lots of cars in my life. I started with the Humber Vogue, and now I have a Moke and a V-Dub. Both of these cars use petrol, or gas as you say out of the States. They both take premium, and in both cases the engine is about twice as big as it needs to be. And I don't care, because I don't actually drive these cars very much at all. So I'm not really contributing to the carbon footprint as much as many other people who will simply drive to the shop because they're too bone lazy to walk. I'd never do that. Unless I'm feeling very, very confident and I want to be seen in one of these ostentatious vehicles. Oh yeah, they're not only powerful, they're very, very bright in colour. One of them's lime green and the other one's sort of like a electric tangerine. I live in Surrey Hills, Sydney. You might have seen it. Anyway. Tangerine bug, lime mope. But no, other than that, I have always liked to drive flashy cars. I don't think I could buy an electric car for the flash value, because for me cars need to make a noise. I have driven in a Prius, I have ridden in a Prius before I knew how stupid hybrids actually were. I was driven in a Prius and it didn't make any noise when it was just electric, and I couldn't actually hear any noise when it wasn't electric either. So for me it had no shock value. I just thought, oh well, this is good, something for the environment, until I realised how stupid it is for a car to carry two completely separate engines when only one of them can be used at the same time. That's almost as dumb as the way we used to launch rockets, or the way most people launch rockets. But SpaceX Grasshopper reusable launching program is viable. I have seen proof of concept. My money's, in the long run, my money is on Alan Bond's reactor engines. What is it? SpaceX? No, it's not SpaceX. Well, it's the Skylon spacecraft, and it is the Sabre engine, reaction engines, England. And this company, this concept, I don't see a future here. I see this as part of the future, but it's going to take dollars to develop it. But for anyone with the vision and the money of Elon Musk, who doesn't have any ideas of their own, investing in reaction engines might be, it might be the goat, because they're so close to proof of concept. I don't want to talk about how it works. It's all about cooling systems and using the available air in the atmosphere to propel the engine as a jet engine until it reaches the rarefied and then the no air, and it can convert fully into a rocket. But it's one single engine that, instead of carrying lots and lots of oxygen, uses the oxygen in the lower atmosphere to get away from the greatest amount of gravitation. And you think about it, it's perfect, it's beautiful. If I was a mathematician, I could see it as a perfectly balanced equation. As far as the actual thing, I've only seen diagrams. It looks great. But yeah, so reaction engines. SpaceX, Grasshopper, Tesla Motors and Sun City. Let's start them marketing them in Australia. I wouldn't mind having a look at one.